Alright, so give me a break here while I introduce this. I wrote this a year ago, and it's mentioned in here, so I guess I shouldn't be doing this, and I should just jump right in. A part of the male experience, and a part of the greater human experience, is the should I have. I don't know if it's like this for girls, but for me, and for a lot of guys, I think the should I have doesn't get mentioned often enough. Men are supposed to be decisive, never flinching in the face of danger, and never looking back on their decisions. That's true, isn't it? That's part of what we're told as small children. Boys don't cry. They don't look back. Real men do what is necessary and do not regret it. We never see the Terminator, or the soldiers in the movies we love, cry over the fact that they've spilled innocent blood on the ground. We never see men in politics question or regret their actions. They're supposed to man up, Nancy, and do what is necessary in order to get the job done. Men go to war on a whim, cheat on their wives, and are never shown to be looking back. They accept the consequences and take it like a man. What does all this mean, though? Does that mean that's what we should be doing? Does that mean that's what we do because it's expected of us? I wrote this a year ago, but there are still questions that the voice in my head asks me every day. Should you have gone to Japan? Should you have left your girlfriend in the States where you knew it would be hard on her? Should you have been as hard on your last girlfriend as you were? Should you have cheated on your girlfriend when you were in high school? Granted, all these are girl questions, things I've done or said or thought about in relation to members of the opposite sex. But in all seriousness, is there anything we don't do to impress a member of the opposite sex? We make war, we impress, we try, we strive, we succeed, or we fail, all for the sake of trying to impress a member of the opposite sex. Hell, part of the reason I participated in this the first year was to try and impress a member of the opposite sex. That's not the whole reason, but it's part of one. If getting up on a stage and admitting in front of 300 people that I don't like blowjobs will increase my chances of getting laid, so be it. I'll take that risk and hope for a reward from somewhere. We may not know we're doing it at the time, but let's not lie. Ultimately, some part of our brain which governs our action says, will this increase my chances of getting laid? And adds its yes or no vote to the processes of reason and instinct that go on in our head as we make decisions. Women do it too, and it's part of the human condition. We can't fool ourselves about it, no matter how much we try. We desire, as a species, to procreate. And whatever we can do that will significantly increase our chances of getting laid, especially if it increases the chance significantly, we're likely to do it, or at least consider it as a serious option. Now, looking back, were the things I doubted the right things to doubt or not? Granted, going to Japan didn't get me laid because of a aforesaid committed relationship. But for a while, there was a part of me that thought that I would definitely get some hot Japanese poon when I went there. I was offered, and just as quickly turned down those offers because there are other questions, other should-Is that are in my mind that I cannot ignore. They're the, should I sleep with this other girl now because it means I get laid now and not have to worry about getting laid later? Should I really even be considering what I'm doing now? Ultimately, there are doubts in every man's mind that make him question what he's doing and what the right course of action is. Some of us listen to these thoughts, and some of us don't. We've got a choice. We can go with what we see all around us and the peer pressure to be a man, or we can go with what we reason to be right. Despite all of what goes on in movies and in what we're exposed to every day, and I don't think this is a surprise for anyone with more than 4 functioning brain cells, we think about what we do all the time. Granted, we have that little voice in our head going on, will this get us laid? That so many of us think with a little too often. But we also have that voice in our head going, should I? Or is this the right thing to do? It's the latter of those two that's more the right thing to say. But all the same, we don't see it in our culture. We're saturated with examples of men that don't ask questions, who either follow the orders or make decisions and stick to it because they're afraid of being flaky. Or even worse, a pussy. We all saw how badly Kerry was smeared for waffling, and it cost him the election. That and a zillion other things. But all the same, society as a whole does not like a man who waffles, or is flaky, or worst of all, is a pussy. We get teased about it in elementary school, and we're ingrained with it in further education to the point in which we don't even know if it's us thinking for ourselves, or if it's the, am I going to get laid for doing this part of ourselves that's doing the thinking for us. We've even externalized this part and say we're thinking with our other heads, as if somehow our cocks weren't actually a part of our bodies, so we don't have to actually blame ourselves and the conditioning we receive so willingly as impressionable youth. We, as men, are subjected to just as many peer pressures as women. Granted, they're not the way less than is probably important for you, than is probably healthy for you type, but they're just as bad. We get the don't cry, don't be a pussy, the man up Nancy, the take it like a man. We get closed into being some kind of unfeeling block of emotionless flesh, and then we get blamed for being uncaring, when it's really what society asked of us in the first place. We get asked to become some kind of uncaring, unfeeling, emotionless wall, always there, always constant, and always stoic, and then the tables get turned on us and we get called insensitive, uncaring, or even heartless bastards. When the truth is, we are sensitive, we do care, and we're not heartless. Well, at least some of us aren't. Can't speak for everyone. We're asked to become what we hate the most about ourselves. We do it to ourselves, and we have it done to us. All because we're told, and we're shown, and we're pressured into becoming this thing that we wouldn't become otherwise. We wouldn't if we ever had the choice, but we're so fixed on what a concept of what a man is, and what a woman is, we can't avoid it. We have to become these men. Even if it's what we hate having to do, so that we fit in, so that we're not ostracized, so that maybe, just maybe, at some later point in life, when we have reason enough and have not forgotten that our genitalia is a physical concept and not what defines our state of mind, we can rebel against it. We can defy stereotypes, and we can become who we truly want to be instead of being forced into what we are. First and foremost, we are human. We are one species, one people, and the walls we erect between us are as artificial as Twinkies. No man has to be manly, buff, and uncaring. No woman has to be womanly, petite, and all emotion. We're human. We can and should be exactly what we want to be. If you want to be a feminine man, go right ahead. A masculine woman, more power to you. The point is that men aren't from Mars. Women aren't from Venus. We're both from here on this earth together. And it's time we stopped thinking about our differences and started thinking about our similarities. We're all human.